managers here at Nice Loss and Fleming. We are going to talk today about prepping for AEP. And please feel free, if anybody has questions, you can always them as we go or even at the end. Okay, so it's that time of year, and AEP is right around the corner. So you should be well underway at this point in time doing your certifications and getting contracted with the carriers that you want to sell for the upcoming year. If you haven't started this process, the time is now to do that. Don't wait until the very end because it could be way too late. As we see every single year on the contracting and certifications, the closer it gets to AEP, it takes double time a lot of times for these carriers to approve the contracts. So please make sure to talk to your marketer here at Nice Loss and Fleming so they can get your contract over to you and we can make sure that you get approved here before AEP. Okay, so one of the things that we're actually going to talk about is learning from your competition. It fascinates me every year because we can see different tactics from the agents that we work with on how they maintain their book of business and how they get new clients in during AEP. So it seems like the most successful agents that we talk to have a secret sauce, been busy for months, while newer agents struggle to find new business. So why not learn from what other people are doing and what works for them, and you can kind of create your own version. So I've done this in every sales role that I have been in over my career, and I would always, a lot of times I would secret shop of my competition, calling them possibly for my grandmother or for my mother, acting as a client, try to find how they are selling and how they are being successful. You actually could do this with your competition, with other agents that are in your area. You could call them and ask them, ask questions saying that your parent or one of your loved ones is looking for it, and kind of see what they are even doing to convince you as a supposed client to set up an appointment. So that's one way to do it. You also could go and attend one of their events, which is another possibility. Go and check out a Medicare 101 or a sales meeting that they are doing to see how many people want our event, what questions people are asking, and then you can kind of go from there. It's been, because I've attended multiple events from some of my agents over the last couple years, and everybody always does it differently, whether it's a Medicare 101. I've seen different presentations, and one of the most recent ones that I actually have attended, the presenter actually did use a little bit of humor and some trivia, which was interesting in his Medicare presentation, and it kept, I will say that he had people that attended, had a lot of questions, and very successful event for him. So like I said, I would suggest going to local meetings if you can. People are always advertising. You can Google advertisements of agents or look in your local paper. Another way, too, is obviously to get from your FMO. So writing on how people are writing business successfully. At Nice, it's our job to help our agents and agencies grow their book of business. So we try to give daily advice to our agents, whether they are seasoned agents or brand new agents, on what is working in the market. There are times that I will share with my agencies on what other agents are doing in different markets, just to kind of give them different ideas and how they can actually go out and get new business. Again, it's super important too during AEP. You want to make sure that you're not just getting new clients, but you want to be maintaining the clients. So if you have a large book, maybe ask somebody that's in your area what they are doing to be able to maintain business. They are probably not going to give you all of the insight, but will probably share a little bit with you. So that's another good avenue. Ask them how they're getting appointments. So you can ask other agents, how they are getting appointments, whether it be for Medicare 101s or sales meetings. You don't ask, then you're never going to find out. So they can know and not tell you any information, but you always ask. Okay, so this is our phone number, which we'll put up too at the end, and I'll give my contact information. You can always call in. You can ask for me, or if you know who your manager is, we would all be happy to help. We can guide you in the right direction and help you come up with a game, and figure out what would be successful for you on learning, from your competition and trying to set up some things to do for AEP this year. So creating a game plan is another thing that's super important. You want to have a set game plan. Some agents that I've talked to, some of my agencies have had a game plan for AEP since January. In fact, they are experienced agents, they have things in place, and they know what is working for them. If you do not have a game plan, then you need to have one pretty soon. We are about two and a half months from AEP, but less than a month from the 10-1 where people can actually start talking a little bit. So I would suggest if you don't have something, you definitely want to set something up. Again, we're here to help with that. So the first step on what you want to do is you want to research the options on what carriers are competitive in your local market. We have all of that information here for the Medicare carriers that we have available. Again, you can give us a call and we would be happy to share that with you. So no matter what the case is, you want to know what's happening in your area so you know how you'll be selling for AEP. So for instance, if a carrier drops a plan, you may need to physically meet with your current book of business in order to flip them to another plan. That happened last year. In a couple areas, we had agents that were flipping their current book, and they were working sometimes with hundreds of their clients to try to do so. If you don't have a, you may want to consider coming up with an ad. We'll draw business to one of your meetings, or for even a client to call you. So Kat in our office, she is able to design ads for you. She designs all of our marketing materials. So if you are one of our contracted agents, that is something that we give free of cost. So if you've not contacted Kat, then give us a call. Like I said, your local salesman or your sales manager, Boston Fleming, or you can call Kat directly. You can out on our website, there is a custom marketing under the information for the agents that you can kind of take a look at some of the stuff that she created. So another thing that you want to do is possibly if you do have that book, you want to think about doing a book of business mailer, maybe draw leads into a local market, or plan presence at a local hotspot where there are seniors. Now, obviously with AEP and just writing business in general, you have to decide on how much money you're willing to invest. We do get questions sometimes on leads, which some of the carriers in previous years had given some leads to agents, but we're seeing less of that. We can kind of guide you on areas. Now, if you're going to end up doing leads for AEP, my suggestion is that you want to go outside of where most of the agents are selling. So here in the Pittsburgh area, Allegheny County is very saturated with a lot of agents. Try to go into other areas where maybe the first looks are showing that there are going to be new plans, or other areas, even if you're in for 20 miles, where you know other agents are not going to. You don't want to just be going and buying leads in the same areas. A lot of lead companies will black out certain mile radiuses, so keep that in mind as well. So you really need to figure out what kind of game plan and be realistic about your game plan too. on what you're going to do to get business for AEP this year. So the next thing, as I said, how to get business in the door. There's business cards, flyers, postcards, ads. Those are things that Kat can design. If you end up wanting to do a presentation, there are a couple options. Some of the carriers have the Medicare ones. If you do that outside of AEP, you can also do, during AEP, you can do a presentation. So those are things that we can also help you with if you end up wanting to do a sales presentation during AEP. Or if you have members, you can do a member meeting. Some of the carriers will allow you to do meetings, and they can actually help you because sometimes they do have stuff that's already these member meetings. So again, we can help you come up with an individualized plan. So not all of the agents that I talk to like to present in front of people, or not all want to work with leads because they have to make so many phone calls, or maybe they have some challenges working with leads to try to get people to meet with them. So sales manager here, me or Jesse, the other agency manager, be happy to come up with individualized plans for you for the carriers that you have through us, so we can ensure you're getting the most out of AEP this year. Okay, so the last part that we're going to talk about is just making the most out of AEP in general. So agents wish that they could be nonstop during AEP and try to scoop up as much as possible. So I've seen some agents that have written hundreds of apps during busy season and some that have only written a few. So you really have to be realistic on your expectations and what you're willing to do. And that means how much are you willing to invest, and you need to invest your money wisely. When it comes to leads, if that's something that you're going to do, you need to call them relentlessly. Agents that will call them 1 or 2 times and then say that they can't get a hold of that person. In our day and age, find that we are so tech savvy now. So somebody actually sending back a lead card and filling it out saying that they want an agent to give them a call is a big deal. So make sure that you are calling them more than just 3 times. I would say that you could even do shifts. Call them in the morning, 3 days a week, and then maybe the next week you can call them in the evening. I personally call them every other day. That is how I would, because I would feel like if somebody takes enough time to fill out information, then they wanted, for some reason, an agent to meet with them. And make sure you are calling as quickly as you get those leads. You don't want to put those off because another agent could get to them. Again, you want to purchase leads in areas that aren't saturated. We could give you some pointers on some places that you could go. If you're willing to drive and go a little bit outside of where your county is, then you would be willing to, that would be beneficial. That's what I always recommend to my agencies. Let me see here. So any questions that anybody has on AEP, you just have to keep in mind that the biggest thing that you have to do now that you should be working on is for your game plan, and you want to make sure that you're contracted and certified. Just because you certified for a product does not mean that you are ready to sell. Keep that in mind. It takes weeks sometimes for the carriers to approve you to be ready to sell. So feel free to lean on us here at Nice Floss and Flip. You can also call me, like I said. My name is Amy. I'm the only Amy here in the office, so I'm one of the agency managers. If you have any questions, I would be happy to help, or I could get you in contact with your local team, whether it be one of our sales managers or else here in broker support that could help you get started here for busy season. Okay, anybody have questions, then you can type them in the box, and I would be happy to help you. Okay, Well, I will now, I'll give you my phone number if you want to write it down, my direct line, and also my email address if anybody has further questions. Oh, we do have a question. Can you enroll manage online? Actually have a tool here at Nightsoft and Fleming, and we purchased that tool. It is going to be revamped in order for agents to be able to sell Medicare Advantage online. It's actually a connector tool. That's the company that we use. And agents can sell the Medicare Advantage online. We can through a webinar on how you are able to do that. You still have to get an appointment. That is emailed to the client before you can move further. So this is not something that that you can just do by calling a client. You have to have that scope of appointment and everything before you can talk about plans. But it has been very beneficial for our agents, and we had a lot of our agents that were using those tools. Again, I would be happy to tell you more about it. You want to send me an email, I can get you in contact with who in our office takes care of that. My number is 412-446-1750. And you can always email me, and my email is nf_agency@nightsoft.com. And I would be happy to answer any questions or make sure that I get you to the appropriate contact here to make sure that we can answer the questions and get you guys set up with a plan. Anybody else have questions other than the connector question that we just had? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for attending the webinar today. If you do have questions, call me directly or send me an email and I can guide you in the right direction. Have a good day.